of J.S. Lumberhook and Ladder Company. Have a farm festival request.
That's our usual request every year.
And then a request from Fredonia Chamber to use tourist information booth and surrounding area for attic and cellar days, June 2nd to 4th, 2017. It's about the same.
Again, that's an annual thing that we
And then liquor license renewal, William Sanders, Sunny Fredonia. Liquor license renewal, Wing City Grill. And then we finally are in a very happy position to hire an attorney, finally. Mr. Todd Thomas, we welcome you. And he, Mr. Thomas is from Jamestown. He finished State University of New York at Buffalo Law School with a Juris Doctor and magna cum laude, June 2004, on environmental law concentration, state and local government law certificate. He finished State University of New York College of Environmental Science and Forestry in Syracuse with a Master of Science in Environmental Science and with a pretty good GPA. His specific area of study, environmental policy and democratic process. And also State University of New York College at Boston with a Bachelor of Art, magna cum laude, with a major in biology and minors in health sciences and chemistry. And that's a pretty good GPA for these courses too. So he has a private practice in Jamestown, and he is a legal assistant in Jamestown, Western New York Incorporation, right? Also, he works at Jamestown. He had worked at Jamestown Community College, and many other things. I don't want to go over everything. Mr. Thomas is young. I'm very impressed by his enthusiasm to do municipal law. This is what we need. And it's not always very exciting, but it's very, it's interesting and it's extremely useful to us. So we welcome you. Thank you very much for joining us. And we hope for a very good cooperation and collaboration. Okay. And then we go to calling for a public hearing on local law number 2 of 2017, water rates. You know what that means. Training request of Fire Chief Kurt Matum to attend 2017 Fire Industry Rescue and EMS Expo and expense $1,135 for the village. Then we have a training request for 4 volunteer firefighters to travel outside the county to attend Fire Industry Rescue and EMS Expo in June 14 to 17, 2017, and no cost to the village. We have a training request for Gary and Michelle Shutter to attend New York State Fire Police Conference in Lake Placid, New York, May 11 to 14, 2017, at $205.07 village share. A training request for volunteer firefighters Ryan Fisk and Anthony DeRusso to attend 2017 Fire Industry Rescue and EMS Expo at $1,492.07 village share. Training request for Steve Manos to attend New York State Code Enforcement Basic Training Program May 23rd to 25th, 2017, at a cost of $186. And calling for a public hearing on local law number 3 of 2017 about the sewer rates. Okay, and then we go to new business.
Can I ask something about that?
Sure.
Can we go back to Number 11, for the training for the, how many days is that? I mean, is that a 2 or 3 day expense there, or is that, do you know with that? And are the volunteers paying any of that, or is
Yes.
it says village?
Yes, that's only the village share. The ones that say village share, the volunteers are paying the other half.
It's
That's
June 14 to
50%.
17.
Yes, that's 3 days. It's a 3-day.
So is that at this, in conjunction with the big chief conference and all that down?
I think that's what it is.
Okay. Because that'd be about 2,900, okay.
Okay. Thank you. Anything else? Okay. We have the buildings inspector report for March and April 2017. And then we have the farmers market bathrooms in Village Hall. What happened was that Margaret, what's her last name? I don't remember.
I don't know how you
Um,
pronounce your last name. Griegel?
Yes. Well, requested from the board to approve use of the downstairs bathrooms during the hours in the summer of I can't talk.
Farmers market.
Farmers market. A farmers market. And of course, I mean, we discussed it and we came to the decision that that was, something that they need to do. The responsibility is theirs to keep it clean, to leave it the way they got it, and also to safeguard so it's only be used by the people, by the vendors of the farmers market. That's correct. Anything else? Everybody okay with that?
We determined we could lock off the downstairs.
No,
I mean,
you can't,
We
because
can't.
the push bar is from
Oh,
on
that's
the
right.
inside. I went down there to take a look at that, so you can't lock them out of Village Hall, so, but they will be using this entrance here from the parking lot rather than the entrance on Temple Street, so it should reduce
And
any
I talked
possibility
to
of somebody
Margaret,
else coming in.
and she understands all that, and she takes full responsibility, either her or whoever is the director, they gotta know who went in and, comes out and all that, so I don't think it's going to be any
Reason for
problem.
assuring
They were very
responsibility,
appreciative,
yes.
actually.
Good. Now,
Yeah.
will she have a key to that door to get in?
She will have a key.
So then it's her responsibility at the end of the farmer's market each week to lock it up, make sure it's
Yes,
secure.
yes, she's gonna unlock it every morning, Saturday morning,
Okay.
and then she's gonna lock it up again.
You have a question? Or, I mean, it's
I'd
not
just
part
like to approach the board for a second on this. You might want to have the door downstairs, the outside door that leads out of here, checked, because there's been several times I've come in and that door has been open for people who have gone out that door just in case, and that allows people to get back into the village.
The door by the
Yeah.
police.
The middle door.
Right.
You know
Yeah.
what I'm talking
That's,
about.
that one's gonna remain locked, they're gonna use this over in the
But if
parking
you
lot.
go out that door doesn't close all the way, and it stays open. So if somebody wants to come in here, they will be able to.
Right.
So you might want to.
And that was the issue, then they would have access to all of Village Hall at that point in time.
But
That's-
the
I'm talking
point,
the outside door.
No, I know that, yeah.
well, the point will be that they want to come into the village hall. There is no reason. Nobody's working that day, so there is no point to come to village hall. I think it's fine. Okay, how about parking spaces, Main and Temple?
Yeah, that was the thing we were talking to Brad about.
Right.
Main and Temple,
I wanted to
Yes.
broach I know that, I shouldn't say I know, I've heard rumor that the state is going to put a top coat over Route 20 through the village. And we've been told in the past that that's the only time we can really change traffic flow stripes is when they repave like that. So I'd just like to, if in fact they are coming through to do it, I'd like to put out to the board a suggestion that we write a letter to the state requesting that the 3 parking spaces in front of Barker Parker Common East, right here, the 3 parking spaces on Main Street, remove those and turn that into a turning lane off of Main onto Temple. People are using it that way anyhow. We're having a lot of accidents, a lot of traffic flow issues there. I realize that we would lose 3 parking spaces. I will tell you that they're not used very often because you have to cross, for most of the things that you want to do, you have to cross Route 20. So most people are using parking behind, the municipal lot on East Main. But I just want to broach it, put it out there. There is a slight sense of urgency in that I don't know how quick the turnaround is to get approval from the state prior to them paving and striping. But it's just something that I'd like you guys to think about. I think it would resolve some issues and it actually moves some traffic.
Rick, what do you think? I think it's a good idea, actually.
I'm fine with that.
Yeah, because it is, some people park there sometimes, but people try to use it as a turning lane. I think it could be dangerous rather than just making it a turning lane
It is dangerous,
yeah.
because people are using it as a turning lane if no one's parked there.
You're right, they do. I've seen them do it.
Yeah.
So,
Okay,
I think
so-
it's a good idea, but.
Are we writing a letter to the state?
We'd have to pass a resolution.
Have to pass a
Right.
resolution, okay.
Mm.
So next time, let's pass a resolution to do that.
Okay.
And what about the, is it here? Oh, yes, it is here. Traffic signal, the next one.
I just wanted to, again, broach the subject of this traffic light at Temple and Church. The idea of perhaps trying an experiment of putting that onto a 4-way flash for a while to see if that moves traffic through those intersections better than having a traffic light there right now. I know that people are getting hung up on Church Street unnecessarily frequently, so those people
Every day.
be able to move through.
And the intersection
And-
gets backed up.
And I know that sometimes the light changes, and it traps people on Temple Street, and there's a lot of area to have cars start to stack up
Right.
on Temple between the 2 Barker Commons,
Mm-hmm.
so that when the light does change, we can move more cars through. Again, I honestly, it may not be a good idea, but we wouldn't be changing any, it would be just a matter of turning the light back on if it's a
Right.
bad idea.
So we leave the light where it is and just use the red one, just flashing
Just
light.
be a 4-way flashing there for a couple of weeks, maybe, just to try it out. And if it's a bad idea, we just turn the light back on again.
But I think you're right. I mean, I personally wait on Church for 5 minutes before I have the opportunity to,
Seems
well,
like it.
something like that. Then have the opportunity to turn. And I've seen many times, like the whole length of the street between the 2 Barker Common, it's full. And,
Yeah.
so I think maybe it's a good idea.
But didn't those 2 lights used to synchronize though?
But they used to be
Right, they
connected and they
don't.
did synchronize,
Yeah.
but when the state put the much more complicated light in, they had to disconnect those because that light is a very sophisticated light that can't be synced with this one down here. It has a self-extender on it and all kinds of things.
What do you think?
I don't know. It's worth a try. Worth a try. I'm thinking about what if we considered maybe something for further discussion is changing the traffic pattern on the 3 sides of the park, maybe doing one way or one way on one street, one way on another street. I don't know. I don't know. But there's just a lot of people crossing the street. There's the backup here when the light changes, and I don't know.
Yeah, because what would we do if it was stop and go then? I mean, if you're trying to cross Church.
Well,
If you're
you
on a
need
stop
like
and
stop
go.
sign, you have to wait there for any pedestrian. Just like you would at a stop sign, you would have to wait for pedestrians.
Brad, are you saying a 4-way red or red on Church Street, yellow on Temple, or is 4-way?
4-way red.
So everybody has to come to a full stop, and then they can proceed if it's clear.
Yeah, but you don't have to wait more than, one car
Right,
or a pedestrian.
right.
My biggest concern is that if traffic starts to back up, people won't wait their,
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't necessarily mean you're the next car to go if you have no place to go to.
Right.
If you can't clear the intersection of Church Street,
Sure.
you need to just wait and let the Church Street traffic continue to move. You can't gridlock that intersection. So I have a little concern about gridlock. On the other hand, that's what they're doing
I
now.
was
when
gonna
electing
say,
is-
that happened just the other day out
Yeah.
there with me, that people were actually all over in the intersection, even though the light was changing a couple of
Yeah.
cycles, but they were all waiting there.
And they gridlock
They
themselves.
did,
up.
even
We're
with the
going to
light.
become
So
New York City, that's what it
So
is. All-
It's possible with the pile, if you get a lineup of cars on Temple, if Church Street has fewer cars crossing, the ability for them to go straight through would be quicker. I think you'd end up with less on Temple, overall. So, it's worth a try.
Yeah, if it doesn't work, then it doesn't work. We go back to what we got.
Okay. I go to the next one, which is the county resolution regarding the MCEC application. As you know, a little while ago, the county had the opportunity to apply for an award grant of $20 million, which is going to be given for approved sales services. We are lucky enough to be one of the finalists, 6 finalists in the country, in the state. And now we're going towards, the next round. What it is, we have identified some projects, and we're discussing them, and then we're going to put everything together to see if we can get awarded this money, which is going to be a great thing, actually. $20 million it's a lot of money, and it can go a long way to help us with many different things. As you know, for us here, we are discussing the wastewater treatment plant. Some very expensive and very extensive renovations are needed, and I think it's a very good idea if we can do something with the city of Dunkirk at least. And then we actually taking another look at the public safety facility that it can host, like one facility that can host our 2 police departments and pretty much 4 courts. So in order to go to the next step, there is a resolution that we need to pass. And this resolution, they sent us a sample of this resolution, and I want to discuss it here to see if you agree, if you want to make any changes.
I'll just go on from there. The top one that has no yellow highlighting, that's the one as it came from the county. I put it in more of a, I
Resolution
didn't,
form.
I
Right.
changed some of the terminology because it was really bad. So I went through and changed a little bit. It didn't change the character of of what they're requesting, just the way it was said.
It's just more in the way we say it
Yeah,
usually.
correct, that's correct.
Yeah.
And then the one that's highlighted is the one that I talked to Dan Hasenrader, I guess that's his name, this afternoon, and the last one on here is kind of an open-ended, that you'll pursue all the results of these studies. And I told him that's kind of
I would,
a blank
you
check.
know, I would go to pursue the results that
Yeah,
are
he said
consistent.
they wouldn't have a problem with even eliminating that last one.
Okay.
Or just changing the language,
Okay.
whatever.
Mr. Kitson.
Rick Ketchum, I'm a Regional Solutions Commission for the county and also a Fredonia resident. We were very interested in passing a resolution, but as Rick St. George said, it is just a draft. It can be changed, but I would like to suggest that totally eliminating the last sentence or bullet would probably not be helpful. But if the word pursue is too strong, that's your decision, but maybe a word like explore or
Consider.
some other, because the intent of that bullet is to be crystal clear, is not to commit to doing it. But it is a request that you commit to consider seriously the results
results.
and exploring and spending the time to study more. It's more than just, sure, you want to do a study, we got money for it, fine, go do the study. We do want to, we're asking you to consider a commitment, but to be clear, not a commitment to say, if the study says this makes sense, that the village is automatically committed to doing it, because that's too much. You gotta see the study, you wanna read the study, you wanna consider the study. And so that's really what we're asking. But again, this was just because having a resolution draft in front of you is better than starting with a blank piece of paper. But exactly what word you want to use, pursue. You know, I like the word pursue, but if you think it's too strong, change it. But I would request you not just delete the last sentence.
What,
Yeah, probably, since we're here to encourage you to approve this resolution or a resolution tonight. I'd only add that we're under a lot of time pressure with this opportunity, so getting the support of the village is critical. I believe the grant, and there's a consultant involved in this. We've also met with the sewage treatment plant operators, the police chiefs. I mean, we've done some homework, and hopefully we have their support to at least go to this next step. That said, we've gotten very strong encouragement from the state. I think our county executive, who we serve for, has gotten a very good reputation within the state, and they are encouraging him to pursue this opportunity of a $20 million grant. And again, the $20 million can get allocated in a variety of ways.
Mm-hmm.
So we've been told that, you know, depending on what our needs are defined as, based upon the study, we could get a big chunk of that. So as a Fredonia resident, having served on the commission for over a year, understanding the other applications as well, I would hope that we can, at your formal session, approve this or some form thereof tonight.
I've got some suggestions. You want maybe
Please.
just, instead of pursue, right, to consider results of these studies and determine if they are consistent with effective service delivery to our residents.
I like that.
Does that make sense? And we're considering them, we're studying them, but
also-
looking to see if they provide what our residents need. Go ahead, Jim.
But also, not only the delivery of the services, but also they have to meet the ability for us to be, those services, long-term costs involved, so that there has to be more to it than that, I think. It's not just the service alone that we, end result.
Effective service delivery, maybe long-term effective service delivery.
They could maybe have some, in a fiscally responsible manner, something, some words like that
In a
will,
cost,
clearly you gotta be fiscally responsible.
in a cost-effective delivery?
What we could say, okay, to consider results of these studies and determine if they are consistent with effective service delivery and cost effectiveness to our residents. Does that make sense?
I don't think that would hurt, because the essence of this entire incentive is to lower
Well,
cost.
Yeah,
Right.
Not just one-year lowering costs, but recurring costs.
Yeah, the
Yes, in the long
the
term,
incentives will be their long-term,
Right.
lowered costs,
Right.
all involved. That's the intent of the incentive. But it's gonna have to actually say that, something like that. In my opinion,
I agree with Kara's,
Never had. That's a head in the
Sounded
right
good.
direction, yeah.
because I think we cover everything.
Okay.
Okay, so
We consider the results.
cost-effectiveness, fiscally responsible, cost-effective
Yeah.
manner, or something.
in order,
That's
so that we should be able to
Do
review.
you want me to say that again?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
I didn't mean to interrupt you,
No, that's
sorry.
fine, that's good.
Okay, tell me if this makes sense. I got all these notes. Okay. To consider results of these studies and determine if they are consistent with effective service delivery and long-term cost effectiveness for our residents or to our residents. I'm not sure which makes more sense. For our residents. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Of the village of Fredonia, yeah, sure.
I think that,
Yeah, for the
That's
residents of the
perfect.
village of Fredonia.
Right.
I think that's fine. Phyllis,
Yeah.
what do you think?
Yeah, I'm writing away.
I know, I got all these notes.
No, and I
all
was
over.
in on those
Is that
meetings, and
consistent
I
with
agree. I
what
think we have a
originally was?
real good chance. I felt
This is why
very
you know.
positive after the second meeting that we met. It should have been over in Mayville, but they came to us. And I really,
this is
I think the
whatever clear-
engineer too that came, the consultant, really picked up on something, and I felt very positive after I got out of that second meeting.
We certainly hope so.
Especially-
It is winner take all, so one of the six
Right.
counties is going to get $20 million. So, and then it can be allocated, we have 10 projects in the application we submitted, but it does not mean each one is 2 million. You could conceivably one, well, there's certainly one going to be only, so some will be more, some will be less. But, maybe we could get much more than that for a combined police and court facility. But we've got to, again, we've got to have the numbers. What's it going to cost? Where's it going to be? I mean, none of that's obviously determined. And the last point I want to make, though, is, and I don't want to back up to step 2, but we've been told repeatedly that if we do all this work and if we aren't successful, there is other grant money available that we might be able to pursue and still get to the same end point. But both the village and the city of Dunkirk have a lot of needs. And at some point, say, it's time to move forward, and we know that too.
It's good. Even the studies are good because, just to sit here and talk, I mean, it doesn't get us anywhere. But the studies, especially comparative studies, that this is what you're doing now and this is what you're going to do if you go together. This is what we need. So we know, and we have no surprises, and we go and, make a good decision.
May I ask?
The comparative study will be very beneficial also. But for reasonings to go forward, I think we should be clear that we're helping the entire county try to achieve this goal of winning that $20 million. And it may not end up with these two communities getting it at all, but it may be in fact that we receive a good portion of it. But to help the county at this portion of the program of trying to anticipate the possibility of getting this grant, I think it's well worth looking into and helping the county get that. Whatever the end result is, at least someone in the county could utilize the money, whether it be us or them or all of us.
So I do think to also to be clear, if the county wins the 20 million, these projects will get money if the projects go forward. If the decisions, they don't make sense, then we're hoping that it can be reallocated to other projects. But our goal, or hope, is that these projects, everyone's going to think make sense. But until you have the numbers,
Right.
Right.
you can't tell.
There's quite a few projects, but but that's good. I think I'm glad that everybody has some kind of interest. So it's going to be helpful.
Okay, so are we okay to pass it tonight?
You okay to pass it?
Oh, yeah, sure.
Yeah, you want to read that? Or you, no,
Not
I mean,
now,
at the
but-
meeting.
Oh, yes.
You want a second? Fine.
Sure.
All right, so we can pass it tonight. All right, and then village recognition for local groups and businesses for cleanup and beautification. What happened was on Earth Day, I think about 2 weeks ago, many local groups like the Rotary Group and Festivals Fredonia and the Grades and Helping Hands and so many other groups came out and went from the parks and Russell Joy Park and the streets, and they did a great cleanup. And they're coming up back again, I think the 29th of May, to do now the beautification, like to plant flowers and to fix the planters and all that.
Awesome.
And not only they donate in their time, many local businesses donate in actual soil and flowers and everything that we need, like gloves and everything that we need. So I think it would be a good move from the village park to say thank you to all these organizations. And what I envision is like 2 small signs let's say, here at the Barker Common. One to write all the groups that took part in these two efforts, and the other one, the businesses that helped.
That's a great idea.
I think they donated their time, they donated the products. Somehow we should recognize that, and I want to know.
Absolutely. I like that idea.
Okay, great. Dennis?
Yeah, and just so you know, too, Rotary's gonna do the planning of both, of everything downtown.
The same day, yeah.
I wanna say the Saturday before Memorial
The
Day.
29th.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I just got an email by,
Rich
from
Ryan?
Lara Fiorella last night.
Okay.
It's gonna be the 29th, many people are coming out. I mean, that day, that Saturday was cold, but so many people came out, and kids, and, I mean, high school kids. It was great, you know, from one place to the other. They did a great job, and I think we should encourage things like that. Okay, great. What should we do about this? How can we go about it? How can we go about it?
What are we gonna do?
Like, I'm thinking two signs, you know, like the political signs, something like that. We say, the Village of Fredonia wishes to thank the following organizations, and then the following businesses for the organization donating their time, and the businesses donating their products.
And then list all of the,
And then list all of
You
them.
could have those sandwich signs made.
Okay.
As long as the board is on, I don't see why not.
okay,
We'll just go ahead and have the signs made
okay.
on my other spots.
Yeah,
Are
just
you
the
on
little,
time?
like the ones that you just stick
Yeah,
right
I mean,
into.
something-
The signs,
Yeah.
the sandwich signs?
Like
Yeah.
a little sandwich.
Sandwich signs is
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah, on both
Whatever it's,
sides.
whatever it's easier. But I want it to be like prominent place where people can see it.
Mhm.
You know that. Okay, great, I like that. And then let's go to food trucks. What are we discussing about the food trucks?
We already did, that should have came on.
Oh,
That was for that Red Fest, no,
Okay.
Red Fest weekend. Sorry about that.
Are we gonna discuss it any further into the future at all, or that was on for just the Red Fest weekend? Are we gonna possibly discuss that into the future at all?
I propose at the end of today, I'm going to propose to have a forum, economic development forum in the village. And I think at that is the perfect time to engage a local businessman, local restaurant owners, to see, to get their input into this idea of food trucks. So, because, you know, I don't want to do anything without them being on board. And I think it's a good idea for the whole village, but at the same time, I would like them to be on board. That's why, you know, leave it for it later.
Yep.
Okay. And now I have to say something. You know, but last year when I started here, I asked for not too much drama, but unfortunately, drama is following us. Last Sunday, Mr. Essex, you wrote a letter, an op-ed on the paper, and I just want to clarify some things. And although I called Greg during the week, I decided that the best way to do it is here, so we can discuss and come to some kind of understanding. I don't know why you wrote that, and that's totally irrelevant. I just want to clarify some things. You say here, first of all, that my efforts and contributions have led the park grant down a different path than originally intended. I can assure you that the park grant was predetermined by the state. You had nothing to do, I had nothing to do, nobody in here had nothing to do with the path. The path is like you going to the bank to get a mortgage. The bank has a specific path that you have to follow. This is exactly the same. So I'm not sure what you mean by that, but definitely that was not the case. So I'm going to leave the fence for the end because I want to discuss it separately. You say here that you would, I requested copies of the quotes, only to be told that educated guesses were used for the budget for the grant. That is correct, actually. But right after the discussion, I don't know if you remember, there is an email that I sent out to you and Trustee Linden when I say that after the conversation we had, I called REDC, the Regional Economic Development Council, and Mr. Siriani indicated that although not necessary, it is a good time to re-examine the grant budget to see if we wish to reallocate money or to other improvements, to see if the prices were okay. He knew that the prices that we submitted were educated guesses. That's what everybody does. And overall, the sense was that we had $314,000. That was it. We have to be in that amount, and we can't do anything crazy. For example, I can't go on Eagle Street and change the light or do something like that. And I end this email by saying, I hope the two of you would be willing to spend a couple of hours and check the budget. We are on a learning curve, as this is a first for most of us. I got an answer from James saying that although we both have jobs, I think we can do something. I got your answer. My suggestion at this point is to say that there are no changes to any of the projected dollar amounts. I say this as a result of the lack of paperwork that exists and not sure you even have a game plan to even begin to massage the original grant numbers. This was your answer. And then I answered you back and I said, I appreciate your support, but I called again Mr. Siriani and I found out that this is a good idea to revisit the budget. According to him, everyone in the original application do exactly what we did, a good educated guess. So, if at this point we discover that we overpriced something, we can reallocate the money to something else or add a new item, or we can remove something altogether. They don't care if we go over. Of course, what we need to do is spend at least 90% of the awarded amount. And then, the rest of the email has other things there. And I got an answer. That's February the 11th. Mayor, I'm eager to pursue the shared services or shared facilities idea. I believe this is going to be a prudent use of my time. At the end of the email, as far as the grant goes, with the information needed, this should be a walk in the park for you. You reallocating the thing to me, and I believe my time will be spent better trying to make a difference in other areas. Maybe another trustee would be willing to assist you. As you can see, I try to involve you repeatedly. You were just not interested in being involved. So, and then you go here and you say that I kept you somehow in the grant. However, I have to tell you that you're right when you say that you had some kind of effect on the grant. The effect was that you stopped the board from putting an ad on the paper for the grant administrator. That's correct, you did that. However, you say here, if we did that, if we have done that, the village will be footing the bill on the position totaling around $14,000. That's totally not true. First of all, what we were trying to do was put out an RFP. That's an ad in the paper, to get some people to give us their bid, let's say. As a matter of fact, we had some prices. You know how much it was? $6,000. 25% of the $6,000 was going to be in the village. That's $1,500. That's not $14,000. So when you stop that, the county executive, because he wants the area to get this money, he called me and he said, we're going to give you the administrators. But these administrators have other jobs too. This resulted in them and myself. I put about 15 hours in that thing. We went to Grand Island. We sat here together with Mr. Aldridge, hours and hours to put together a thing that the administrator of the grant for $1,500 was going to do. And then you say, as of last week, items on the checklist that should have been completed many months ago were just being fulfilled. Yes, we did not have an administrator. Nobody else can do it. You stop the administrator, and then you complained that we haven't do all the papers. Anyways, many of the trustees have not been involved. As I said, no, they were. And I tried to involve as many as I could. And then let's go further down. When you said about the meeting the other day, community members in favor of the grant had been assembled, and the entire meeting has been orchestrated to produce the outcome of passing the grant on that night. First of all, I will say, yes, I did my homework. Yes, I called people. Yes, I put it on the Facebook. Yes, I emailed. Yes, I went on the radio. Because I think a full room, if we can fill the room every time, we have to celebrate that. So instead of assaulting them, not assaulting them, insulting them by saying that I assembled them here, they were interested people. We should celebrate that. We should try to bring them here every time. Yes, we had a full room. That was what, that's what democracy is all about. I didn't bring them here. I invited everybody. And to go further down, without a lawyer being consulted, when did I ever say that I'm going to sign anything without a lawyer? I'm not that uninformed person. I'm not that, whatever you want to call it. Of course, I expected that we were going to have a lawyer and go over it. I wouldn't understand a word from the contract that we're going to bring. The contract is going to be brought here in front of you, and the lawyer is going to go over it, and then I'm going to sign it. That's it. We didn't give our life away without resolution. And that the fact that we had it here, that's common practice. We had this resolution here. You didn't know anything about it. We produced it here. Well, you're going to vote for it. This happens all the time. I wasn't going to put it for vote if I didn't have the votes. Of course, because if I didn't have the votes that night, next morning we weren't going to have the money. And this is a lot of money. I did a lot of heavy lifting, Mr. Essex, to bring it here. So when you say the trustees will have no voice on input, the only thing I'm going to do is sign the contract. I have to come back. If we go out to bond the money, you have to approve that bonding. You have to approve the RFPs we're going to put out. You have to approve. Everything has to come by this board. I don't understand where that Mayor Thancia Landis and a group of concerned citizens, and by the way, something else. You know the concerned citizens? This is an email that I sent to them. You're part of this email. And I know you got it because you answered it. I said, what is a good day, either Thursday or Friday, something like that. It went to all these people. And you don't have to wonder if I reached out to everybody. Yes, I did, except one person. One lady, she gave us only an address, so I had no way to contact her. I tried to go to Middlesex, I couldn't find it. But anyways, yes, one person was not contacted. Everybody else was. And the reason we didn't have written quotes, it's very difficult to go to anybody without having money and ask for written quotes unless you're willing to pay. When you have the money, it's much easier. Now we have quotes because now they know we have money. So they know we're going to go out and ask for bids. So you say here something about lack of transparency. Let's see. 5 meetings, 1 special meeting, 1 PowerPoint presentation, numerous times me being on the radio, many times on Facebook. I'm always been available, never dissed a question about the grant or anything else for that matter, but the grant specifically. All of this to spend between $31,000 and $75,000. Then And you have a problem with that. However, you had no problem, and you didn't voice anything anyways. We passed a budget, $10 million budget. We had one public hearing, as the law requests us to do. You didn't say, wait a moment, nobody's here, let's do another meeting. Let's do another meeting, this is $10 million. I really take it very personally when you say lack of transparency. I'm trying to be very transparent. At the very least, you can help me to be more transparent instead of writing letters to the paper, the paper that is being read by people all over the area. Proper maintenance of, here. Yeah, you say that you have no trust in the administration, and I know you don't because you voted your own budget, you voted it down. That's a vote of non-confidence to your own government, to your own 5 trustee members. Anyways, I also felt that replacing concrete for $193,000 is a waste. I totally agree. So if you go out, there are about 3 or 4 sidewalks, they don't need replacing. We won't go and start breaking them down to put a new one there. We're going to use that money to something else. I mean, that's what I'm trying to do. Proper maintenance of the parks. Yes, there's been a challenge, I understand that. But then again, that's why we have all of us. You are on the park committee. You can make sure that they are clean. This is good for everybody. Historical buildings. Totally agree with that. This building needs to be fixed. It's many, many problems here. Did you ever think that $75,000 is going to bring this building to life? It's not even going to give us the preliminary study. And if you find a way, come and say it. Anyways, there is no free money in the world. No, there is no. But this is not free money. We paid for this money. This is taxpayers' money coming back to us. So we already paid for this money. This is our money coming back. And I think it's a good thing to have it back to the community. It's actually money from the whole state of New York. I appreciate the opportunity to have some of it coming back here. But at the end, you say that you have the best interest of many of the village residents in mind. I would suggest that you should have the interest of all of the village. This is not about an election. This is now you're elected, now you're representative. You should have all of them in mind, including all the people who were here that night. And finally, something that I really got me upset, and this is the reason I'm doing all this. In one specific part, you're accusing me of anyways, I'll explain. You say here, I am convinced that absent my inquiries into accurate cost of this grant, the fence would have remained, and at the cost to the taxpayers, 100% above the estimated cost of $50,000 that was originally budgeted, or a cost to taxpayers approaching around $100,000 extra. You're accusing me of almost having the intent for an illegal action here. Can you please tell me how I'm going to spend $100,000 that is not in the budget and without having the approval of this board, There's no legal way. You're accusing me here that I was going to do an illegal action. I was going to spend $100,000, not in the budget, and without coming to the board. I really want an answer for this.
Sorry you feel that way.
You didn't mean it this way? What? I'm reading your writings. I feel this way, yes, and I want an apology for that, because this is a criminal offense if I do something like that. Do you think I have the checkbook of the village and I write every time I seem like it, I feel like it? We come to you for everything. This board has to approve everything, and this is the right way. You should approve everything. And here you're accusing me that I'm going to spend $100,000 not in the budget and not coming here. So I'm not sorry that I said all this, actually. I think things like that should be said. However, I have to finish with this. In the beginning, you say, people often say the reason they want to be involved with politics is because they want to make a difference in their community. I hope you still feel this way, because obviously, you don't like the way I'm trying to bring some money to the community. So 2 or 3 weeks from now, I'm going to organize a economic development public forum with all the businesses invited and all the people of Fredonia invited. And I want to invite all the trustees to come with their ideas for economic development. You don't like mine? That's fine. Let's put your ideas forward. Let's put everybody's ideas forward. And please don't come with ideas like we should bring money, we should bring businesses, we should bring jobs. Everybody knows that. We should bring jobs, and this is how I think we can do it. So I'm going to keep in touch. 2 or 3 weeks from now. Greg, did you get that? 2 or 3 weeks from now, we're having a public forum with the intent of discussing economic development in the village. That's all I had to say.
I'd like to also comment. In an April 30th commentary in the Observer, Mr. Essex stated that a resolution was drafted and ready to be presented and voted on with only the knowledge of the mayor, the village administrator, and the 2 trustees. I'm not sure what 2 trustees Mr. Essex is referring to, but I had no prior knowledge that this resolution had been drafted and was going to be read and or passed. And I just want to clarify that because I don't want anybody to think that I am doing anything in a way that is not transparent, or I'm doing something that is not open and out in front of the public. And I'd like to ask you what 2 trustees you were referring to. Phyllis, did you know about this?
No, I didn't.
Jim, did you know about this?
No, I didn't.
Okay, and I didn't know about it, so I'm not sure who you're referring to, but I just want everybody to know that I did not have any prior knowledge.
The only thing I'd say is that at one of the previous meetings that was requested by Doug, that someone asked who would be for this project, and you and I were the only 2 that said we would at that meeting. No one else commented. So I'm assuming that I assume that you were pointing that comment towards the 2 of us, and I take objection to it. You were clearly insinuating something that you had no right to insinuate. It was clearly putting yourself above everyone else in this board. You think you're above us. You clearly feel that by writing this article after the resolution and had passed by a majority of the board, puts me to believe that you feel that you are. This grant was established back to put forward last year when you weren't even on this board. It was approved by the state last year before you actually became an official member of this board. When you had the opportunity to get the information, it is your responsibility to ask for the information, and you make comments as if you weren't included. But the fact of the matter is, from January on, I have 8 emails that with the statements that were Rick provided you with the information, and you make it as if it was a big deal to get the information. Well, it's your job to get the information, and if you're provided, then you were provided. Why? What is the big theatrics about the whole thing? So the process was done appropriately. It was delayed. It's still going appropriately. It will go appropriately, and I would appreciate keeping at least myself out of your comments. You have the right to your own comments, but keeping us out of it, and not to put statements against the board or the village in doing so. And you should also keep in mind the people that you represent are all the people in this room that you decided to go the other direction. They all asked you to be for it. The majority of the people, I can't say all the people did, but the majority of the people in this room. You represent those people too. Thank you.
Yes, and to clarify everything, no trustee had prior knowledge of the resolution. The resolution was drafted by Nate Aldridge and myself, the administrator and myself, and then we talked with Rick and we put it together. That was it. No trustee had no idea about the resolution. Not because we kept it, because we were doing it that day. There was no time to start emailing out. We did it that day at 2:30. Nate and Mr. McCall was here doing this job. So I don't understand. We should try to work together to bring this village to a better place, to bring businesses, to bring jobs, to bring new professionals, to take the village up. And things like that, they just you cast a shadow of something of improprietness and illegality in this board, and I really resent that. Anyways, that was it. Anything else?
Yeah, I have a couple of things.
Sure.
And I'll hand them out. Jim wasn't there, but these are the minutes from the fire meeting that we had. So it just kind of brings people up to date what's happening over in the fire department. In regards to, I'll just briefly say, I thought it was interesting that under the past business, they really have been doing a lot of repairs and cleaning up over there in the department, and they are still continuing to do that with the fire tower that we all know fell down in that. And I thought it was interesting. They said an engineering firm back in 1986 had mentioned about the stucco work in that building, and it needed to be addressed at that time. So I'm glad we're moving forward on that. The new portable radios are now in use, with the mobile ones to be installed soon. Under new business, it was for members are going to be going along with Ryan to the state fire chiefs convention. And one thing I thought was very neat, and if you have a chance, go over and see it, because it still is in process. They're doing a wonderful interior renovation on the fire hall. A lot of the firemen have been over there doing that. They've cleaned the rooms out, they've painted, they've cleaned. It really is good. It's past it, but the annual fire banquet was May 6th. On May 10th, they're going to have the second part of the annual OSHA that's going to be done. And then starting the end of May through June, and I encourage all the residents to remember that their annual fund drive for the fire department will be held throughout the meeting. And then also physicals are being scheduled. So just kind of an update on what's going on in the village.
Thank you very
In the
much,
fire
actually.
department.
Thank you very much. Yeah.
I haven't had a chance to get the wastewater done.
Okay.
But I just want to make one other comment.
Sure.
And I too was upset at the last meeting, and I have talked to Brad about it. I was really appalled at the action of some of the residents within.
Evelyn, close the door.
I said that at our last board meeting that we had up here at the time in regards to the park, there was a lot of opinions and a lot of statements made, which is what everybody has a right to, as well as the board has. But I really was appalled by some of the actions that were done by some of the people here. And I think, I understand you may be angry and disapprove of what we've done, but to come up, and I don't care if you're throwing a pencil, a piece of paper, a dollar bill, or what, that is just not really acceptable behavior to do to the governing body of the village. And I have talked to the police, Brad Meyer, in regards to that, because it was really a very frightening kind of a situation. And also, I didn't think a lot of respect was shown to the mayor, who was also the facilitator of the meeting. And that's just something I think we need to look at as a board, so it doesn't get that out of hand. 2 different county legislators approached me, and they said they were just stunned at what transpired at our board meeting. And people have a right to come, but you have to still respect us as the governing body here. And so that's just my opinion. I served here for 4 years, and one of the ones that have to due to the elections not being in March anymore, I have to continue on to the end of December, and I certainly hope more respect is shown to us because we invest a lot of time and a lot of effort to be here. That's just a comment. And I've asked Brad Meyer what we can do about that in the future, so it will be addressed.
Actually, one thing we can do is run the meetings as regular meetings where everybody has to stand up and state their names and why they're here with a short comment and not back and forth questions and back and forth discussion. And I can do that, but I agree with you about the way and the respect towards the governing body. I do agree with that. Thank you very much. Anything else? No? Okay.
Of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
First of all, welcome. Look at this beautiful full room. At the regular meeting of the Board of Trustees of the Village of Fredonia, duly called and held on the 8th day of May 2017 at 7:30 p.m. in the Trustees' Room, 2nd floor, Village Hall, Fredonia, New York, and public notice of the time and place of this meeting has been given to the news media and conspicuously posted in one or more designated public locations in accordance with Section 104 of the Open Meeting Law.
Whereas members of this board present at this meeting have read the official minutes of the Board of Trustees regular meeting of April 10th, 2017 and April 24th, 2017. Now therefore be it resolved, this board approves the minutes as entered into the official minutes, and be it further resolved that the reading of the minutes be dispensed with.
Trustee Christina? Yes. Trustee Linda?
Aye.
Trustee Jones?
Aye.
Trustee Esser?
Yes.
We have one report, actually two reports from the building inspector's office for the month of March and April. For the month of March, there was a total of 4,000, whatever that number is. Did you see it? There's a digit missing. Let's see. Yeah, something like that. For the month. The permit fees, I'll read them out individually. Permit fees, $2,619.25. Rental fees, $800, and certificates of compliance, $850. They did 10 rental inspections, 10 renewals, and there were no stop orders issued. The month of April, there was $1,600 in fees collected. Permits issued 20 inspections, and 4 renewals. There was 1 stop work order issued for the month. Again, these reports are in the clerk's office if anybody wants to review them. Yep, that's it.
Okay. Correspondence was received from the Secretary of the Fredonia Volunteer Fire Department to add Kenneth M. Haas to the active roles.
Do you want me to read that?
Yes.
Okay, be it resolved that the name of Kenneth M. Haas, 9852 Livermore Road, Forestville, New York, is hereby added to the active roles of the J.S. Lambert Hook and Ladder Company effective immediately.
Second.
Trustee Christina?
Yes.
Trustee Linden?
Aye.
Trustee Jones?
Aye.
Trustee Esser?
Yes.
Correspondence was received from Yvonne Henneberry, Farm Festival Committee Chair, requesting the use of Barker Common and various street closings from August 24th to the 27th, 2017 for the 49th Annual Fredonia Farm Festival.
Okay. Be it resolved that the request of the Fredonia Farm Festival Committee to use East and West Barker Common and the gazebo, August 24th through 27th, 2017 for the 49th Annual Farm Festival is hereby approved. And be it further resolved that Center Street between Church Street and Barker Street be closed from 6 p.m. until 9 p.m. for a fireman's hose race on Friday, August 25th, 2017, and Temple Street from Risley Street to Main Street be temporarily closed from 11:30 a.m. to 1 p.m. on Sunday, August 27th, 2017, for the annual Farm Festival Parade. And be it further resolved that the Fredonia Farm Festival may use the parking facility off Water Street, August 24th through 27th, 2017, to accommodate vendor or crafter cars and trailers. This will reduce the congestion on Park Street, west side, on which no parking will be allowed. And be it further resolved that the Police Department bag meters on Main Street in front of the West and East Parks only, and on Park Place and Day Street from 4 p.m. on Thursday, August 24th to 10 p.m. on Sunday, August 27th, and bag 2 meters on the Main Street in front of each park as handicap parking only from 7 a.m. Friday, August 25th to 11 p.m. on Sunday, August 27th. And be it further resolved that Church Street between Day Street and Park Street and Day Street between East Main Street and Church Street be closed from 4:30 p.m. Thursday, August 24th to 10 p.m. on Sunday, August 27th. And be it further resolved that Park Place be closed between Church Street and Main Street on Sunday, August 27th from 12:30 p.m. to 6:30 p.m. to accommodate the antique car show. And be it further resolved that the village administrator is hereby authorized to write a letter to the Fredonia Farm Festival Committee stating that this board grants permission for the use of the front half of the Village Hall parking lot, first 2 rows of parking only, but no employee parking spots during this year's Farm Festival. And be it further resolved that the village board requests that the Fredonia Farm Festival Committee comply with the following items. 1, no vendors between the sidewalk and curb along Route 20. 2, the number of vendors is subject to the Board of Trustees receiving a plan showing the number and location of the designated vendor spaces and to allow access to the water hookup August 24th through 27th. 3, no vendor shall sell distasteful adult items. 4, trash will be picked up on an as-needed basis and nothing left overnight. 5, walkways will not be obstructed. 6, electrical wires will be properly protected to prevent accidents. 7, food vendors shall be located on Church Street in front of Village Hall between Day and Temple Streets. The vendors shall be situated in a U-shaped configuration, and vendors may set up their booths after 4:30 p.m. Thursday, August 24th. Arts and crafts vendors may set up their booths after 1:30 p.m. on Thursday, August 24th. All tents must be properly secured. The use of Barker Commons by the Farm Festival Committee shall not restrict the business activities of existing businesses within the village of Fredonia, and be it further resolved that the above use of Barker Common and street closings are subject to the direction of the Fredonia Police Department and the Department of Public Works. And be it further resolved that the Fredonia Fire Department and Fredonia Police Department be notified of the above closings, and be it further resolved that this resolution is subject to the receipt by the village of a certificate of insurance from the Farm Festival Committee showing the village of Fredonia as an additional insured in the amount of at least $1 million, which the village has received.
I second.
Trustee Christina.
Yes.
Trustee Linden.
Aye.
Trustee Jones.
Aye.
Trustee Essek.
Yes.
Correspondence was received from Heidi Sidon of the Fredonia Chamber of Commerce requesting the use of the tourist information booth and areas surrounding the tourist information booth for the annual 20 miles of attic and cellar days, June the 2nd to June the 4th, 2017, and to have the police department bag meters in front of the tourist information booth.
Be it resolved, the request from the Fredonia Chamber of Commerce to use the tourist information booth and surrounding area of the tourist information booth for its annual attic and cellar days on June 2 through 4, 2017 is hereby approved, and be it further resolved that the Fredonia Police Department bag the parking meters on Main Street, Route 20, in front of the tourist information in connection with the annual attic and cellar days.
I second.
Trustee Christina.
Yes.
Trustee Linden.
Aye.
Trustee Jones.
Aye.
Trustee Essek.
Yes.
Correspondence was received from Faculty Student Association of State University College at Fredonia, New York Incorporated, notifying the village that they will be renewing the on-premise liquor service license for the Williams Center. Correspondence was received from Great Food, Great Fun LLC, DBA, Wink City Grill, notifying the village that they will be renewing the on-premise liquor license for property located at 10450 Bennett Road, Fredonia, New York. And now, I'd like to open the meeting to the public. Yes, sir.
Over a year ago, I brought you a bottle of my drinking water. It was all rusty. It's been a year, no improvements have been made. You plan on doing anything with that, or shall I go to the next step with it?
We do plan to do something with that. What we are right now is the engineering firm is down there taking samples, is that correct?
Yes.
Taking samples, because we have, in order to fix it, as I said before, we have to know what's wrong with it.
It's the water line on my street. If it started at the filtration plant, everyone in the village would have rusty water. It's residents on
understand
my
that.
street.
Of course. But however, we have to know exactly what's going on, and we're going to go to the next step. It's not going to take much longer. I understand your being upset. I do. Believe me, I would be just as upset as you.
Yeah, but I think if it was one of you, something would have been done sooner. You wouldn't have been as patient. I'm telling you, this, not only do I get water now that I can't use, can't cook with, can't drink it, now I'm told I'm going to be paying more for water I can't use. This is ridiculous. I wish I would get as much attention with my drinking water as you've given to the fountains in the park. I see a grants in the works for that. Nothing's in the works for my street.
No, there is actually. We are applying this August. We found out. We have to find out these things. So we are applying this August for a grant
You're applying this August.
to get,
I spoke with you over a year ago.
No, this August we're applying.
You're applying this August.
Yes.
I spoke with you about this problem over a year ago.
Yes.
So it's going to be a year and a half before anything is
Sadly,
even
I
started.
can't do anything by myself. I have, no, all of us, we can't do anything as a village. We have to go to the state. This is a very expensive project.
Is there a surplus in the water budget?
There is a little
fund
one,
balance.
yes, there is a fund
Well,
balance.
Why don't we do something? I mean,
Because the
this
fund
is-
balance wouldn't pay for even one street as
So
far
this-
as replacing water lines.
So your
You have to
answer is
wait
to
for
raise
the
my
engi-
rates for water.
You have to wait for the engineers to complete their study, and they'll tell us what needs to be done on the street.
I
We just
guarantee
don't
you I'll
go
be
in
back
there.
here next year with this.
Mr. Lewis, I know your problem started 11 years ago.
I started closer to when I moved in there 30 years ago.
Okay, maybe. I have, you brought me some papers last year, about 11 years ago, that you brought to the attention of the village. I assure you, and there's are many people here, that we are taking, we are going as fast as we can. And by this November, we should know about this grant. We talked with the state, Rick and I, were a huge, very long conversation with the state, and they assured us there is some money there. There is a lot of money. So, no, you won't be next year, except to say thank you.
There's more residents on the street with the same problem.
I
I just
do
want
know.
you to know we're going to take our water to an independent lab, and then we're going to start contacting state agencies on this. I said I'd be patient. It's been over a year. I'm out of patience. I'm sorry.
Do you think this is going to help you?
I think it will. I think it'll call more attention to where the priorities are of the village.
Your water is my priority. I told you from last year.
I'm sorry, but I can't agree with you on that. We'll wait and see.
Yes. Yes, sir.
Yes,
Keep-
my name's Gus
please.
Pokovic. I've lived in the village of Fredonia for, I don't know, 40-some years. I have a question. I've been watching this thing for the last 20 years happen. I know the village doesn't make a practice of using your equipment on private property and things like that. I know that's not, any company or any business doesn't do that, utility. But, you know, I've noticed that the village employees, they bring the front loader up to Eagle Street. And this happens once, twice a week, sometimes even more. These guys are great employees. They serve the village great. They do great work. I think instead of doing work for one taxpayer, maybe they could do work for all the taxpayers in the village of Fredonia. This thing's been going on quite a while, and I've been asking questions about it. I mean, you have a site to dump stuff, I think out on Webster, correct? Is it Webster, or wherever it is? Anyway,
Actually, up on Eagle?
On-
Is that what you're talking about?
well, I'm talking about the spot on Eagle Street, yeah.
Yeah.
That's privately owned, okay?
Yeah, it's our
And-
stuff on there.
What's that?
It's our stuff on there.
It's not all your stuff.
Yeah, it's all leaves.
Well, I
It's
can
our
show you
leaves.
pictures of Asplin trucks. National Grid was dumping there. I dumped there when I worked for that company. It's everybody. It's not just the village of Fredonia. And why anyway why should that make it right? Why should that make it right to push it, yeah, and the encroachment, I own the property right behind that. I own the railroad, okay? Little by little, it's encroaching on my property. I don't know if the village is gonna be liable, you know, for something on that end of it, but I don't think that if you're dumping up there and you've been dumping up there, maybe you should change things, because that is private property. And I want you guys to bring the bucket over to my house. I need some stuff moved. You know, that's, next thing you know, everybody's gonna want something like that. But, you know, those guys are working as hard as they can, and to put them up there's other things in the village that all our taxpayers can benefit from, not just one person, because it's on his private property and you're dumping there.
You're
Well, I
right.
don't even know what's going on up there anyway. I don't even know. I mean, you guys are up there moving stuff around. Is there a reason to move it around? I know when Asplin dumps 2 big trucks there, it's like 2 days later, I see your equipment moving it. So, I honestly believe somebody should look into that.
Okay, well, thank you. I will look into it.
Thank you.
Thank you. Composting thing? Thank you. Yes, sir.
Joseph Kwiatkowski, 58 Cushing Street in the Village, Secretary of Fredonia Grange No. 1, America's First Grange, and one of the organizers behind Fredonia Farm Festival. Sitting in front of me is Yvonne Henneberry, a Grange member who is chairing the Farm Festival, but as a resident of Dunkirk, I'm not sure she has standing to stand up and say anything, so I will. It's my understanding you've just approved Farm Festival for this year. On behalf of Yvonne and the Grange members and the rest of the Farm Festival Committee, we'd like to thank you. We'd like to thank the council. If I could have the, and I'd like to show you something. If I could have the Fredonia Farm Festival people stand up or raise their hand. I'm proud to live in a community where people will step up and help. And I'd just like to let the mayor and the council know that. And I thank you.
Very much.
These people thank you, and the thousands of people who will be here the last weekend in August, thank you, especially since this council will vote that it will not rain then.
Well, thank you very much. We do appreciate your work. I can't even imagine that this is a lot of work you have to do from now to the end of August. Can't even imagine, but I applaud you. And if you need any help, not much, but any little help. Yes, absolutely, of course. Yes.
I'm Mary Madison, and I just started coming to these meetings, which includes last month, when I heard it voted that although you hadn't been giving money to Fredonia festivals, that you voted to do that. And I was so excited, I told Yvonne, guess what, you're gonna get money. And she said, no, we're not included. And I wanna tell you, I'll use the word appalled. Why is the Fredonia Farm Festival not getting any money?
I thought they were very rich.
Who is? What other thing do we have? Red, white, and blues. That's the only other one I know of. So
History Days.
I literally, this is not a setup. I was so excited. I said, guess what? You're going to get money. No, we're not. I want to know why. Okay.
I don't have an answer, actually, to be honest with you. I know that somebody approached us from the Fredonia festivals, and we talked a little bit about it, and then we decided to give not a lot of money, but some just a little bit of money. Yes,
But
just a little bit of
isn't
money.
this a Fredonia festival? Why aren't they getting any?
Because usually these are, as I understand it, privately run, and not run by the village. Isn't that right?
That's one of the.
I think
I thought we appropriated, we put $2,000. And then we appropriate, I didn't bring my budget with me. Didn't we appropriate funds for?
I don't remember. I know we did festivals for Fredonia because we had for years and then didn't, and then we decided again. Festivals
As I understand, Fredonia Festival, they were not getting money before, although Festivals Fredonia, they did. And then they cut it down, so we gave them some money back, not a lot. Yes, sir.
Let me just expound upon the answer. Due to the generosity of Fredonia businesses and Fredonia people who support us, who donate, who purchase advertising, who purchase raffle tickets, Fredonia Farm Festival, for at least the last 6 years that I've been involved with it, is self-funded. I am sure that if we ever had a serious issue and needed help, we would be able to find help in the community. But it's a pleasure that we can do this and put this on.
Thank
So
you
there's no-
very much.
And I mean, let me stand up and say thank you to the members of the community, thank you to the businesses of the community, thank you to the people of the community who support this and they make it happen.
Yeah, and you put it very nicely. This is a community event, and this is how it's well known. We thank you very much. I mean, I can never do your work, but thank you very, very much. Anybody else? And I have to tell you, following your last night's email, we discussed it before at the workshop, and we will put a sign, two-sided sign, to thank all the members of the different organizations who came down and cleaned for Earth Day, clean up the Berkeley Commons and Russell Joy and all the streets. And we'll do it again with, beautification, putting some flowers, planting flowers and all that, the 29th of May. And also all the businesses that are going to be donating their goods. So we appreciate everybody. Without you, we could never do nothing. So we do appreciate your time and your enthusiasm and you being here. Oh my God, this is an excellent gift today. Thank you very much. Anything else?
Just one quick question. Hi, Roger Britt, Park Street, Fredonia. How are we doing on hiring some of the open positions we have in the village?
Well, we haven't attorney now, so we are doing one.
Okay.
We have some people in mind. We haven't decided anything yet. So we're still looking.
Do you have a time frame on when you want to have these positions filled?
Well, the time frame is tomorrow morning. I would like to have the positions filled as soon as possible. Having said that, I would like the right people to head these departments. These are big and complicated work that they're doing, and I really want to find the right people. So I'm not saying we're going to keep looking for the next 2 years, but in the next, I'm hoping, couple of months, we'll be able to hire these people. Thank you. Anything else? All right, let's go to resolutions.
We're gonna do him first.
Okay.
That resolution, it's in here someplace. That's that resolution you can swear in.
Yes. Yeah.
What, Thomas?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's
Right here, I was just gonna read it.
The next one.
He's the next
Yeah.
one anyway.
Is the
And then
next
we're
one?
gonna
Yeah.
swear.
Okay. You all right? Okay. Be it resolved that Todd M. Thomas of Jamestown, New York is hereby appointed village attorney at an annual salary of $40,000 with no benefits except NYSERS, effective immediately.
Trustee Christina.
Yes.
Trustee Linden.
Aye.
Trustee Jones.
Aye.
Trustee Esek.
Yes.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Very good.
And let's do the swearing.
Come on, we won't try to squeeze through it. So if you want to stand over here. Swear you. Raise your right hand. I, Todd Thomas,
I, Todd Thomas,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New York,
and the Constitution of the State of New York,
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of village attorney
and I will faithfully discharge the duties of village attorney
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
Congratulations. Welcome aboard. Sign right here. Yes, sir. Sign there.
you can know all our secrets. You can learn all our secrets.
Telling you what to do.
Okay. let's
Ready?
go. Yeah.
Whereas the Board of Trustees of the Village of Fredonia desires to increase the water rate for metered water service within the Village of Fredonia, and whereas proposed local law number 2 of 2017 of the Village of Fredonia in its final form is now upon the desks of the members of the Board of Trustees of the Village of Fredonia, increasing the rate charged for 1,000 gallons to 100,000 gallons, yes, of metered water per quarter by $1.15 from $3.65 to $4.80 per 1,000 gallons of metered water for customers within the Village of Fredonia, whereas said proposed local law reads as follows. Section 1. This local law shall be entitled a local law amending Section 287-81A of the Code of the Village of Fredonia to provide for an increased water rate for 1,000 gallons of from 1,000 to 100,000 from $365 to $4.80 per 1,000 gallons. Section 2. Section 287-8A of the Code of the Village of Fredonia, last amended on May 23, 2016 by local law number 1 of 2016, is hereby amended to read as follows. Section 287-8A, rates for metered water service within the Village of Fredonia. A, for water supplied by the Village of Fredonia from and after June 1, 2017, and for each quarterly period thereafter, the following rates are hereby fixed and shall be collected on all water metered services within the Village of Fredonia. A minimum charge of $25 plus from 1,000 gallons to 100,000 gallons at the rate of $4.80 per 1,000 gallons consumption, plus over 100,000 gallons a rate of $4.75 per 1,000 gallons consumption. Note, water rate to the town of Pomfret and town of Dunkirk water districts or other outside of village water customers shall be increased accordingly as provided by the contracts with the Village of Fredonia in such outside water customer. Section 3. This local law shall take effect June 1, 2017. Now therefore be it resolved that a public hearing be held before this Board of Trustees of the Village of Fredonia on the 22nd of May, 2017 at 7:30 p.m. at the Trustees Room, Village Hall, Fredonia, New York, to consider the question of the enactment of said proposed local law, and be it further resolved that the village clerk is hereby authorized to cause notice of said public hearing on said proposed local law to be published in the Observer as required by law.
Second.
Trustee Christina?
Yes.
Trustee Linden?
Aye.
Trustee Jones?
Aye.
Trustee Essig?
Yes.
Be it resolved that the training request of volunteer Fire Chief Kurt Madem to attend the 2017 Fire Industry Rescue and EMS Expo in Verona, New York, June 14 through 17, 2017, at a cost not to exceed $1,135.40 is hereby approved.
I second.
Trustee Christina?
Yes.
Trustee Linden?
Aye.
Trustee Jones?
Aye.
Trustee Essig?
Yes.
Be it resolved that the training request of volunteer firefighters Julius Leone, Tony Fazzo, Neil McKnight, and Larry Barter to travel outside of Chautauqua County for the purpose of attending the 2017 Fire Industry Rescue and EMS Expo in Verona, New York, June 14 through 17, 2017, at no cost to the village is hereby approved.
Second.
Trustee Christina?
Yes.
Trustee Linden?
Aye.
Trustee Jones? Trustee Essig?
Yes.
Yes.
We got it.
Request of volunteer firefighters Gary and Michelle Sutter to travel outside of Chautauqua County for the purpose of attending the New York State Fire Police Conference in Lake Placid, New York, May 11th through the 14th, 2017, at a cost not to exceed $225.07, with the remaining $225.08 to be paid by the volunteers is hereby approved.
Second.
Trustee Christina?
Yes.
Trustee Linden?
Aye.
Trustee Jones?
Aye.
Trustee Essig?
Yes.
Be it resolved that the training request of volunteer firefighters Anthony DeRusso and Ryan Fisk to attend the 2017 Fire Industry Rescue and EMS Expo in Verona, New York, June 14th through the 17th, 2017, at a cost not to exceed $1,492.07, with the remaining $1,492.07 to be paid by the volunteers is hereby approved.
Second.
Trustee Christina?
Yes.
Trustee Linden?
Aye.
Trustee Jones?
Yes.
Trustee Essig?
Yes. Be it resolved that the training request of Steve Manos to attend the New York State Code Enforcement Basic Training Program in Montour Falls, New York, May 23rd through 25th, 2017, at a cost not to exceed $186 is hereby approved.
I second.
Trustee Christina?
Yes.
Trustee Linda?
Aye.
Trustee Jones?
Aye.
Trustee Essek?
Yes. Whereas the Board of Trustees of the Village of Fredonia desires to increase the sewer rental in the Village of Fredonia, and whereas proposed local law number 3 of 2017 of the Village of Fredonia in its final form is now upon the desks of the members of the Board of Trustees of the Village of Fredonia, which proposes to increase the sewer rental rate per 1,000 gallons of water supplied to a premise from $5.17 to $6.17 per 1,000 gallons of water supplied, and whereas said proposed local law reads as follows. Section 1, the local law shall be entitled, a local law amending section 237-15D of the Code of the Village of Fredonia to sewer rentals. Section 2, section 237-15D of the Code of the Village of Fredonia, last amended on May 23, 2016 by local law number 2 of 2016, is hereby amended to read as follows. Section 237-15D. For sewer services from and after June 1, 2017, said sewer rental charges, also referred to as sewer charges, are fixed for customers within the Village of Fredonia at the following quarterly charge. A minimum charge of $20 plus $6.17 for each 1,000 gallons of water supplied, as metered by water meters approved by the Village of Fredonia or by sewer meters approved by the Village of Fredonia. Note, sewer charges to the town of Pomfret and the town of Dunkirk Sewer District or other outside village customers shall be increased accordingly as provided by contracts with the Village of Fredonia and such outside sewer customers. Section 3, this local law shall take effect June 1, 2017. Now therefore, be it resolved that a public hearing be held before this Board of Trustees of the Village of Fredonia on the 22nd day of May 2017 at 7:30 p.m. in the Trustees Room, Village Hall, Fredonia, New York, to consider the question of enactment of said proposed local law, and be it further resolved that the village clerk is hereby authorized to cause notice of said public hearing on said proposed local law to be published in the Observer as required by law.
Second?
Trustee Christina?
Yes.
Trustee Linden?
Aye.
Trustee Jones?
Aye.
Trustee Essek?
Yes.
Anything else to say? Oh, we have one more. Got. Okay.
Doug, that's for you.
I'm just gonna read it.
Yes, sir.
No, this,
Did
I
you,
meant
did
we
you
did
get
it.
the corrections?
Yeah. Do you have it exactly
I
the way?
don't know if you're gonna be able to read my writing, but
I didn't write corrections. Whereas the Village of Fredonia is committed to effective government, high-quality public service to our residents at the lowest possible cost to our taxpayers, and whereas we applaud the efforts of Chautauqua County Executive Vince Horrigan and Chautauqua County Legislature to promote services sharing among Chautauqua County's local governments, including functional and corporate mergers, and whereas the Village of Fredonia recognizes that the financial and technical support offered to local governments that Governor Andrew Cuomo and the New York State Legislature has provided our community, providing a unique opportunity to explore ways to permanently reduce the tax burden of our residents through collaboration and structural reform. Now, therefore, with the assistance provided by New York State and Chautauqua County, the Village of Fredonia is committed to the following: to continue our already begun study of a consolidated public safety facility with the City of Dunkirk, to continue our already begun study of a coordinated or merged wastewater treatment system with the City of Dunkirk, and to consider results of these studies and determine if they are consistent with the effective services delivered
effective service delivery
to
for,
or for.
and for our long-term cost
Okay,
effectiveness.
service delivery and for our long-term cost effectiveness to our residents of the Village of Fredonia.
Who's second?
I'll second.
Oh, okay.
Trustee Christina? Trustee Linden?
Aye.
Trustee Jones?
Aye.
Trustee Essek?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. One more thing to say. This past Saturday, the Fredonia Fire Department had a banquet. And I and Mr. Essek was there. We had an excellent time. It's a great group of people. I have to tell you, they are friendly, they are personable, not to mention funny. We just had an excellent time, and I want to applaud them and thank them very much. Are we done? We're going to
Oh, we have to go into
executive
executive session. I hereby make a motion to enter into executive session as authorized by Section 105(1)(f) of the Public Officers Law to discuss matters regarding the medical history of a particular employees pursuant to Article 14 of the Civil Service Law.
Trustee Christina. Trustee Linda.
Aye.
Trustee Jones.
Yes.
Trustee Essek.
Yes.
Well, thank you so very much for coming. Please feel free to come again. This is excellent.